Hey guys, welcome back to Fantasy Tipped. My name is Julian and this is the waiver wire episode for week 23 of the fantasy hockey season, guys. This is a big one. This is the start of the playoffs for a lot of you and the second week of the playoffs for everybody else. This is a very, very big week in the fantasy hockey world, guys, and I want to do everything I can to make sure that you take home this week and make it to either the semifinals or the finals, depending on your league format. Guys, this is a big one, so make sure to pay close attention here because I have some pretty solid tips for you guys to help you win this week. Before we get started, guys, hit that like and subscribe button if you haven't already. Make sure to follow me on Patreon. Take that support to the next level. The link is in the description below. Thanks so much, guys, and let's jump right into the schedule for this week. And as you can see, guys, on Monday, there are 5 games. Tuesday, 13. Wednesday, 2. Thursday, 12. Friday, 3. Saturday, 15. And Sunday, 5. So as usual, guys, the off nights are on Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and Sunday. And there are really not a lot of games on those days. So you're going to want to do everything you can to maximize the amount of players you have playing on those days. And this is how you're going to do that. The Colorado Avalanche, they play on all 4 off nights, Monday, Wednesday, Friday, Sunday. So you're going to want to add players from the Avs. Then the Arizona Coyotes also play on 3 of the off nights, Wednesday, Friday, and Sunday. I have a whole bunch of options of Coyotes options later in the video that you could be adding for those off nights as well. And the Edmonton Oilers and the Pittsburgh Penguins are the only other teams that play on consecutive off nights. So you can stream for Monday and then Wednesday and then drop whoever you pick up. Now, the great thing about this week is there are no teams that only play 2 games. So no matter who you have in your lineup, they're going to be decent options for you in the fantasy playoffs because they at least play 3 games this week, which is not bad. Let's jump into some forwards now that you can consider adding to your team. And the first one that I have here on the list, guys, is Jared McCann of the Seattle Kraken, up to 60% roster. Now, you guys know that I like him. I do think he's the best player on Seattle, and he has been showing it. He's been scoring a lot of points, getting top line and top power play deployment. Now, definitely someone that's not a bad ad for these fantasy playoffs. Andrei Kuzmenko of the Vancouver Canucks getting top line and top power play deployment in Vancouver right now and looking really good with it, guys. He's on one of those hot streaks and you definitely gonna want to grab him and stream him and ride it as long as that hot streak lasts because he's looking really good. Riley Smith of the Vegas Golden Knights. Have you seen his hot streak as of late? At only 40% rostered. He's available in 60% of leagues, and he's someone who's insanely hot right now, so grab him if he's available. Jason Zucker of the Pittsburgh Penguins. Have you seen how many goals this guy has been scoring? He's scoring just about every single night for the Pittsburgh Penguins, getting solid second-line deployment in Pittsburgh. Just definitely something that you want a piece of right now because he is insanely hot, and the Penguins do have off nights on Monday and Wednesday to make it even better of an ad. Alex Killorn of the Tampa Bay Lightning. Tampa Bay is scoring some serious points right now. He's getting a piece of that top power play, and as long as he stays hot, guys, Killorn's an excellent ad as well. JT Compher is still playing on the second line in Colorado as well as the top power play. And with Lehkonen going down with an injury, he's going to be sticking on that top power play in all likelihood. Compher is an excellent ad right now because the Colorado Avalanche, they play on all 4 off nights. And this guy definitely could put up some points over those 4 nights. Nick Schmaltz, if he is healthy, that's an if, guys. You have to check on that status because right now we have no idea what that injury is like. If he's healthy, guys, he's someone you absolutely need to be picking up this week. He would be my Manscaped must-add player if I knew for sure that he was healthy, but unfortunately, I do not. So Nick Schmaltz is someone that we're going to be monitoring, and if he's healthy, guys, you need him for those Wednesday, Friday, and Sunday off nights because he gets great top line and top power play with Clayton Keller and Barrett Hayton on the Arizona Coyotes. TJ Oshie is someone who's insanely hot right now, playing on that second line with Dylan Strome as well as with Sonny Milano, and as long as this guy stays hot, he's definitely someone you need on your team. He also gets top power play deployment. Nino Niederreiter of the Winnipeg Jets up to 31% rostered now. And Nino Niederreiter is somebody who's also very hot right now, was moved up to the top power play in Winnipeg. And as long as this guy's getting that crazy good deployment right now, top line and top power play and deployment, it's pretty hard to ignore him and the fact that he's producing pretty nicely right now. Next, I have Evan Rodriguez, and I was going to make him my Manscaped must-add player of the video. However, he hasn't proven enough just yet for me to take that leap and put him as my Manscaped must-add. But I really do like him as an ad because he's playing right now on the top line with Rantanen and McKinnon. That's an amazing deployment for him. And with Lehkonen going down, there could be a few times where he could see top power play time. I know Nichushkin got moved up there the last game, so it's possible he still doesn't see the top power play, but either way, he's getting top line time with Nathan McKinnon. That's definitely a deployment that you like to see, and it's more likely that he sticks there now with Lehkonen being gone. And that's just something that you like, especially when Colorado has all 4 off nights this week. Then I have Dylan Strome of the Washington Capitals. And Dylan Strome, just look at that game log, man. He's so hot on that line with TJ Oshie. As long as he stays that hot, guys, it's pretty hard to ignore him and not pick this guy up. Looks like he's a good ad right now as long as he can keep up that momentum. Lawson Krause is playing on the second line right now in Arizona with McBain and with Michelli. And Lawson Krause has been producing as of late, and this guy also gives you a safe floor every single night with hits and with shots on goal. He's been pretty solid all year. And if you're in a league that counts hits and you need someone that can give you a safe floor as well as potentially put up some points for you, Lawson Krause is an amazing ad, especially because he's got the off-night games this week on Wednesday, Friday, and Sunday. Jakob Vrana of the St. Louis Blues has scored a couple goals already in a St. Louis Blues uniform and is playing on the second line right now with Kapanen and with Buchnevich. That's definitely a line that is poised to do pretty well, and let's see if Vrana can keep up this momentum. It's a speculative ad right now to see if he can actually keep up this momentum, but if he can, Vrana could be a really, really big steal for you guys. Then Anthony Beauvillier, 15% roster, playing on the top line right now with Kuzmenko and Pettersson, obviously. Both those guys have been doing very, very well. Unfortunately, not playing on the top power play anymore for now, but still a pretty solid deployment for him. If you need someone you're in a deeper league, Beauvillier is definitely someone who could put up some points for you. Next is my Manscaped must-add player of the video, Barrett Hayton. Get 20% off and free shipping with the code word FANTASYTIP at manscaped.com. That's 20% off and free shipping at manscaped.com with the code word FANTASYTIP. Always use the right tools for the job with Manscaped. Now, why is Barrett Hayton my Manscaped must-add player of the video? Well, have you seen how hot this guy has been lately? It has been unreal. Barrett Hayton is getting top line deployment with Clayton Keller, who's also insanely hot right now, and Nick Schmaltz if he's healthy. Otherwise, it's Brett Ritchie. Either way, Barrett Hayton is someone that you want a piece of this week because of those off nights, Wednesday, Friday, and Sunday. And he's available in 85% of leagues. That's something that I like to see, and definitely an amazing ad for this week. Then I have Thomas Novak of the Nashville Predators, and he's getting top line and top power play time in Nashville with Matt Duchene on both those lines. That's definitely not a bad place to be, and he has been producing, which is why I like him a lot. Evgeny Dadonov, and a couple spots down, Wyatt Johnson of the Dallas Stars, both producing right now for Dallas, playing on the second line with Jamie Benn, who has been insanely hot this year. I can't believe how well Jamie Benn is doing this bounce back season for him. Just incredible to see. And Dadonov and Wyatt Johnson are both really producing for Dallas, and both are excellent ads in deeper leagues because they're both getting points. Then I have Jack McBain, who's playing on the second line right now with Lawson Krause and with Matthias Michelli. Michelli, you see him a couple spots down. Both those guys are producing and getting points right now. What a great time for that to happen because they have a really good schedule this week for the fantasy playoffs, playing on those Wednesday, Friday, and Sunday off nights. So especially if you're in a deep league, a really good ad, really good streamers for this week. And then finally, as a little bonus, if Nick Schmaltz, only if Nick Schmaltz misses time and is not back, Brett Ritchie could be a viable streamer. He is right now playing on the top line with Keller and with Barrett Hayton. If he sticks there, he could have a little bit of value and could potentially put up some points for you for these off nights. I would not touch him. I would not even go near him if Schmaltz is back. But if he's missing, Brett Ritchie could potentially put up some points for you. I don't think he's that great of a player, but with that deployment, it's hard to ignore. For defenseman options, it's pretty similar to last week. Dmitry Orlov is an amazing option at 68% rostered. Obviously, he has cooled off a little bit from that amazing hot streak he had to start off with the Bruins, but he's still doing pretty well. Scoring a point every couple games or so, putting up some decent peripherals. Orlov is a good ad. Evan Bouchard's an amazing ad right now, playing on top power play in Edmonton with Tyson Barrie gone. He is the guy there, and he has been producing. Like him a lot. Rasmus Sandin is the guy who I like the most. He would be my Manscaped must-add player of the video for defensemen if I had 2 players of the video, but I don't. But Rasmus Sandin is an amazing ad right now, guys. He is getting top power play deployment in Washington and has been doing very, very well with it, playing on the top pairing as well. So the ice time is there, and he's just looking so good right now, guys, for your fantasy team. If somehow he's still available, you just have to pick him up. Mike Matheson's been a little colder as of late, but still top power play in Montreal, so I don't hate the addition. Samuel Girard has kept up the hot play on a week this week where the Avs have 4 off-night games. Girard is a good ad. Cam Fowler of the Anaheim Ducks has been insanely hot right now. Definitely like him as an ad. He's available in 80% of leagues. Look at his game log, guys. He's been putting up points, and that will continue. Juuso Valimaki of the Arizona Coyotes, 12% roster. Been putting up points on that top Arizona Coyotes power play. Don't mind that for a week where they have the off nights. Marcus Pettersson, 11% rostered. He's been putting up a lot of points lately. Same thing with the next guy on this list, Matt Roy. Neither of these guys get really any power play time at all, but both these guys have still managed to put up some points lately. Hopefully, cross your fingers if you're going to add these guys, and hope to God that they can continue their hot streaks, because it's not necessarily sustainable, but hopefully they can sustain it for a little bit longer for your fantasy team. And then finally, Adam Boquist of the Columbus Blue Jackets is a risky ad. He does get top power play deployment, so you can cross your fingers and hope that he gets a couple of power play points for you. Definitely a riskier ad, though, because sometimes he does absolutely nothing. Jumping into goalie options, and first on the list, I have Jonathan Quick of the Vegas Golden Knights, and we don't know how long Aiden Hill is going to be out for. It doesn't seem like it's too serious of an injury, but if he stays out, Jonathan Quick will get pretty much every single start going forward because he has looked really, really good. Stuart Skinner of the Edmonton Oilers getting all the starts right now in Edmonton because Campbell has been terrible. Phoenix Copley and Jonas Korpisalo seem to be splitting these starts pretty evenly right now in LA, and if you want a goalie that gets about half the starts for a pretty good team, both these guys are viable options. Kirill Vejmelka of the Arizona Coyotes, 45% rostered, seems to have taken back the starting job in Arizona. And Arizona's actually not doing too bad lately. So Vejmelka is not a terrible streamer right now. Philip Grubauer, 37% rostered, is still, to me, the starter in Seattle. He started a whole bunch of games in a row, did really, really well. In the last couple, he didn't do so good. Then Martin Jones started, obviously didn't do that great in his start either. So I think they go back to Grubauer, and I think he's going to continue to get starts for Seattle. Should continue to get up a few wins. Then Ukko-Pekka Luukkonen of the Buffalo Sabres, 15% rostered, is someone that I'm looking at now. With Comrie injured, they only have Craig Anderson and UPL left. And Craig Anderson doesn't really start more than a game per week usually. Maybe they'll start him a couple of games per week at most, but Pekka Luukkonen should at least get half the starts in Buffalo going forward. And he's a good enough goalie to merit a spot on your team, especially if you're in a points-based league. Matt Sogard for the Ottawa Senators is their starter right now until Cam Talbot comes back near the end of the season. He hasn't been that amazing, but still a starting goalie option. Then Alex Stalock and Peter Mrazek, 6% rostered each, are going to be splitting the starts pretty evenly going forward in Chicago. So if you're desperate and need a goalie who's starting at least half the time, both these guys are options. And Daniil Tarasov is actually someone that I'm looking at right now at only 1% rostered. And because Merzlikins has gone back home to Latvia to be with his family, and Hutchinson is just really a bad goalie, Daniil Tarasov is the guy right now in Columbus, and at only 1% rostered. If you're desperate and you need a starting goalie, he may be the guy that you have to pick up because he is available in 99% of leagues. And that's it, guys. Thank you so much for watching all the way through. If you enjoyed the content today, please leave a like and hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. I want to wish you guys all the best of luck in your fantasy playoffs this week. I hope that you win this week and make it through to the next week. And I hope to see you for this episode at this time next week. Good luck, guys, and I'll catch you in the next episode of Fantasy Tip.